everyone, and welcome back to Jak 2 Renegade on the Sony PlayStation 3. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a couple of missions that are going to be completed in this part. And the next mission I'm going to tell you is quite a doozy of one. It's going to take a good few attempts if you don't know what you're doing. So let's just return the tone quickly and find out what he wants us to do, shall we?
The Baron's coming down pretty hard. Whatever you've been doing, you've really upset him.
I'm just getting started.
He's brought in new Crimson Guard Hellcat cruisers, making the streets dangerous for the underground. We've already lost 5 men this week.
Your men should be able to take care of themselves. But I wouldn't mind taking out a few cruisers if that's what you're getting at.
Never part of a bigger cause, eh, Jack? Fine. I'll take your help any way I can get it. Bring down all 5 Hellcat cruisers. That should send the Baron a message.
So from this point on in the game, folks, we're probably going to be introduced to a brand new enemy type, I guess, kind of. It's not really an enemy type, it's more of a vehicle type per se. But essentially what we're going to be doing is a repeat of the mission, and as you can tell by that very graceful editing, if I do say so myself, I failed a few times. But yeah, we're going to have to do a repeat now of the mission where we were fighting, well, when we were getting the lurker guards off of the cruisers, because now we need to destroy the cruisers. The only difference is, this isn't so much a rescue mission as it is a destroy all of the thingies mission. So what I recommend the first thing to do is to get your big blue badass Vulcan cannon gun, because it does so much damage to these things. A few shots and the Hellcat cruisers will simply just explode in a blaze of glory, and you should be able to get through without too much of an issue. However, the big problem with this mission is these Hellcat cruisers, unlike the previous ones that we fought when we were trying to rescue the lurkers, they actually have guns and whatnot. They will actually shoot at you and do as much damage as possible, and you're probably going to lose a lot of vehicles along with a lot of health in this mission if you're not good at aiming your gun while you're on these car thingies. Although I do like one little detail is whenever you're driving in a car and you're shooting things, Daxter's actually the one shooting. I don't know, I always thought that was a neat detail. But I like to be very careful when going through this mission in particular, because I noticed that when your car starts smoking and it's noticeable, basically a few shots from the Hellcat cruisers will destroy the car. Those cruisers, I must insist on telling you, are insanely powerful. If you get hit by those cruisers, bye bye, basically. So yeah, it's quite a challenging mission. It took me about 3 attempts overall, you know. But you shouldn't have too much of an issue if you know what you're doing. Although whenever you do run out of ammo with your Vulcan cannon, I do recommend switching to the normal blaster. Well, it does a lot less. Not a lot. Yeah, actually, yeah, it does a lot less damage. But if you're good with your aiming, you're good with shooting it, you can usually take down vehicles still relatively quickly. The only difference is, because it's not such a rapid-firing weapon, hitting the Hellcat cruiser with your gun fire is just... it's just so much harder. It makes me cry. It makes me sad, you know? But anyway, that's the mission pretty much over and done with now. Like I said, it will take you a good few attempts on your first time through, and it's around, like I said, from... actually, I don't know if I said this previously, but this is around the point in the game, folks, where... Jesus Christ! Yeah, this is the point where Jesus Christ. This is the point of the game where things really start ramping up in difficulty. The game gets so much harder from this point on, and this is why a lot of people I know of consider this one of the hardest games that they've played to date. I wouldn't really call it one of the hardest games I've ever played to date, because I've played so many harder games than this one, and honestly I don't find this one too bad a game, you know. I'll die, but it's usually because of my own stupid mistakes, or I'm just not playing good enough. I've played plenty of harder games, like Demon Souls. What else? What else have I played that's harder than this? the original Mario Brothers, which honestly I do consider the original Mario Brothers harder than this, and that's just because I'm useless at controlling that game. But either way, I digress. Let's just take this out and we're done. Fantastic.
That should take some of the heat off the streets. Good work. I couldn't have done it better myself.
Keep away from me!
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to go to a brand new mission type yet again. Yay! I love new mission types when they crop up. And don't let anyone tell you this game doesn't have variety in its missions, because trust me, it has a lot of variety. Because now, ladies and gentlemen, we're time to go to the stadium, because we're about to access the obligatory racing challenge that a lot of platform games like to have in this console generation. I don't know why, lots of platform games in this generation have racing challenges. It's quite weird.
We destroyed Crew's cargo.
Great! I'll send you a medal. Now, if you don't mind, I'm on a deadline, so scram!
Are you always this difficult?
Let me handle this, Jack. Listen, lady, we beat your stupid course, and we can outrace anybody in this city.
Wait, that voice.
Now, there's just two things you need to know. One, we don't want to join your stinking race team. And two, you just lost a date with Orange Lightning. Let's go, Jack.
Daxter! It is you!
Kira!
Oh, I never thought I'd be so glad to see your furry mug. And Jack, you look different.
It's been a tough ride.
The Baron pumped our boy here full of dark eco, and it did something to him. Now he's got super moves or something. And a few anger issues as well.
I've been looking for you guys forever. And planning a way to get us back home. Somehow that rift took us far into the future. I've calculated the time displacement, and
We
I
found
think
your
I've got
father. Well, sort of.
Working with the Underground fighting the Baron. But he's,
What?
You need to go see him. And I need to get to the Baron.
You could try to win the Class 1 Racing Championship. The winner of that big race always gets to meet the Baron in the palace. But you have to qualify by winning the lower class races. There's a Class 3 race starting soon. You can drive for my team. But Jack, we should think about getting out of here. I don't like this place, and some of the people are creepy.
Jack, my boy, I need that rare key you found, eh? A special client has requested it.
Sorry about that, Crew. I must have forgotten.
Right.
I completely forgot about that, I completely forgot about that key myself. But yeah, it's actually Kira, who's the racing person.
Dun, dun, dun.
What? Who called it? I mean, it's obvious it was Kira from the voice, but, you know, just for dramatic effect, I bet nobody knew who that was, right? Yeah. But anyway, like I said, we're going into a racing sequence next, and this racing sequence can be a bit tricky if you don't know how to handle it, because, well, there's basically 3 races in the game, 3 main race missions you have to deal with, and they don't use this hoverboard like you would expect. Instead, the entire stadium's been transformed into a fantastic race track filled with the audience as just 2D sprites. I only just noticed that. But anyway, what I recommend by here is simply jumping over the drivers and basically veering straight to the right as soon as possible to try and get a... Try and MacGyver your way to first place. It's not likely it'll happen, but you can try. And that is how you don't play this race. Oh, seriously, this race is very difficult. It is insanely difficult to get through, and like I said, you have 3 of them. Every time you do one of these races, the track will change, and every time it changes, it gets more challenging. But when you figure out how exactly you're meant to do this, it can be a pretty easy ride. Now, what you basically need to do is push the X button in order to go forward. If you press the circle button, you can use a boost. To gain boosts, you'll actually have to collect purple icon eco thingies. Those purple things there. There you go, just pick one up. And it'll fill up your gauge by 1 dot. You can order maximum 3 boosts, and basically, I like to pick these boosts up and save them for very specific sequences on the map, like this one. If you press the R1 button, you're going to be able to jump, and if you move the analog stick forward and backwards, I believe you can sort of tilt your hover bike here forward and backwards, so you can sort of change your momentum, kind of. I don't like doing that because I get really paranoid. Just stick to moving left and right and don't press up and down, for the love of God. And for the most part, you've seen the races there, so always get to this part, slow down a little bit, aim yourself, and then jump over the gap by using the boost. You need to be very precise with these, and you need to win in first place every time you go through these missions, which can be a bit tricksy. As you can tell, it's five laps, and honestly, I like these minigames, but I really wish they sort of lowered down the difficulty a tad, because even though I'm completely destroying these guys, it's the track design that needs to be lowered in difficulty, because look, if I didn't turn then, I would have died, you know. Your bike has so little damage, you will blow up a lot, you will die a lot during this race. And probably the same goes for the second and third races as well. It's, like I said, they're really fun, but insanely difficult. I have had so much trouble just getting through these races, and it's not a fun time. But I don't know if there's a way to actually replay these in the story mode, which I kind of find saddening, just because I do enjoy playing it. Don't get me wrong, I do love these races, but I'm just saying the track design could have been lowered down a little tad just to get you used to the controls, because it doesn't control like you'd expect.
When is this city gonna provide some challenge, huh?
Hey, I watched your race today. You were pretty amazing out there.
Oh, thanks. Kira, this is Ashlyn. She's just...
Everyone knows who she is.
And Kira's,
A friend. A very good friend.
Thanks for helping out with that tanker, Jack. You saved a lot of lives. I'm not my father, you know. Ever since I was a little girl, I've looked down at the city streets from that ridiculous palace and imagined a better place.
By the way, they're hunting for you. I'd watch out for Errol. I can't protect you from him.
Whoa, she's a Betty. And she likes you, Jack. Not that I can account for her tastes. I bet you'd love to pin some medals on her chest, huh? What? What'd I say? What did you say, Jack?
Can someone spell out awkward? Anyway, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading back to Onin's tent for what I consider the worst mission in the game.
Expecting that little boy to save us is folly. At his age, he's no match for the metalhead leader. Oh, Jack, we were just talking about Samos's plan.
Onan says your voice sounds very familiar. I'll bet you two golden oldies go way, way back, huh? Onan needs you to prove yourself, Jack. You've shown your brass and your brawn. Now you must show your brains as well. Frankly, I think she's pushing it. But I'm not the boss. Beat this test, and the third piece to the seal will be revealed.
Sweeping for sun.
Ready? Go!
Is it just me, or is Core turning a lot more sinister looking by the mission? I don't know, he just seems to be turning a lot more negative in his vibes as time goes on. It could just be me, however. Anyway, this mission, ladies and gentlemen, you need to use your brain, your skills, and geometry to its full effect, because you see these icons that Onin will pop up out of her pot. Basically, just push the button that appears. This is kind of like if anyone's played Sly Cooper, it's basically like the minigame against Miss Ruby. You basically push the button that you would see on the screen. It's that simple. Although this does go by really quickly, and you need to know your controller. If you don't know what button is what, you're gonna have a lot of trouble going through this. And when I say this is the worst mission in the game, it's not because it's poorly made or anything like that. It's just because it's a matter of pushing what you see on the screen. Although I can't fault it too much, because at the speed that it expects you to input these button prompts, it does get really stressful. I kind of like the challenge of it, even though it's simple geometry. Oh, what's the square button? Oh, that's the one on the left of the controller. I pushed that. Oh, what's the X? It's on the bottom. Ah. But it can clearly give people issues, you know. I think that they're probably the best I've ever done, and I still missed a good couple. Obviously, you need to get 400 points. If you miss 20 of these things, then Bye-bye. That's all I can say about that. Although it doesn't look like I'm really missing any, but apparently I am, so... yeah, I don't know. Just keep at it, eventually you'll get through. And with that, we're done!
You got enough points! Congratulations!
You have completed a great game and proved the justice of our culture.
Behold, the seal of Mar is now complete! Onan says the 3 artifacts you retrieved from the mountain temple are relics from an ancient light tower. Old songs tell how this light tower once shined down on the actual site of Mar's tomb. I sing one of these songs for you. From the mists of time, Mars light would shine.
Whoa there, Iron Lungs. Just tell us what we need to do.
Cretins with no taste, huh? Puh. You must take the 3 artifacts to Mars Gate. Only then will the light tower rise and reveal the tomb.
Please advise. Suspect.
Oh god, that singing voice is awful. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we return to the mountain temple. I don't understand why I said it in quite such a whimsical way then. To the mountain temple! And then the Batman theme comes on, but it just replaces Batman with Jack 2! Na 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 Jack 2! Jack 2! Jack 2! Oh, my throat. Oh, God, I'm sorry for your ears. I'm gonna have to edit that to make it sound less ear-rapey. But, yeah, we're back to the mountain temple, and you might... well, actually, I don't think we've been to this area yet, but so just head on down here, and you see this giant glowing light pillar from the heavens. Well, just go down here, the doorway will open. I was expecting some dialogue then, game. So yeah, we got some more platforming to go with, and this platforming sequence here is, well, it's not that hard, but it can be a little bit challenging, because what you need to do is, you need to basically get your hoverboard and grind down here, and whenever you reach these giant light things, what you're going to want to do is simply jump over the light things and jump onto the other rails. This can give you a few attempts. I didn't bother cutting out these deaths because it didn't really take up much time at all, but it is really tricksy to do. I always have a bit of issues, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this area of the mountain temple serves only to open up the next sequence of levels. There's nothing really important that goes on here as far as I can remember. There's no big missions, there's no mooks you have to fight, and that's the only real bit of platforming as well with that hoverboard sequence. So yeah, it's time to open up the tomb. That's a surprisingly elaborate way to open up a tomb. Just shoot a laser beam at the statue. Yes, that always works. But yeah, shooting that giant laser beam points the way to the tomb and the next boss fight, which means Chapter 2 of the game, as the cheats menu actively puts it, is pretty much almost complete, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, when we return next time, that's basically what we're going to be doing. We're going to be reaching the tomb, taking on a couple of trials that await us in said tomb. And we can also skip the long way back. We can simply jump across the pits to get back to Haven City, which is all well and good. So we're going to do that and reach the second boss fight of the game. The second of 3 boss fights, if I remember correctly. I don't think there's a 4th boss. So thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And when we return next time, well, we'll be visiting the Mars tomb. And I hope you all aren't skittish kids, because, yeah, I don't like tombs usually myself, unless it's in, like, Tomb Raider or something, because, creepy things usually. Especially in Zelda. Anyway, I'm dragging us on way too long. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. I'll catch you all next time. Bye!